Welcome back to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're back on the Spirit Board today. We're going to breeze through this one. Our first opponent is the Shake King from Wario Land, the Shake Dimension. Or as it was called in the US, Wario Land Shake It. For some reason, they had to change the name when they ported it over here. In this Wii game, you had a whole gimmick where you could shake the Wiimote, and Wario would punch the ground, shaking the whole screen and creating earthquakes. To represent that gimmick, we have a very shaky level, and as you can see, we're fighting on a pirate ship because the Shake King is something of a pirate. Anyway, our next battle, moving straight on, is Welt from Somabringer. Somabringer was a JRPG, an action RPG, for the Nintendo DS, released by Monolith Software before they actually made Xenoblade Chronicles. The gameplay of it was quite similar to Secret of Mana. On the top screen you had your protagonists all rendered in 3D doing a fight, and you'd be micromanaging them on the bottom screen, so yeah. Anyway, Welt is one of the major protagonists of said game, and this is just a straight up sword fight, which... gotta love those, especially considering we're Raiden right now. Everyone's favourite cyborg ninja, ready to rip out a spine and devour it for fuel. I think that's what Raiden did. Pretty damn sure, so... just need to actually land my hits now, and this guy's proving really dodgy. Really, really evasive. Come on now. I can do this. I know I can do this. I mean, if you're not gonna comply, if you're gonna get your final smash, I'll just lightsaber you. Alright, next up we have Erika. Erika is the, well, one of the main protagonists from the 8th Fire Emblem game. Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones for the Game Boy Advance. Erika was is basically a rapier-wielding lord. She's quite fast and evasive, kind of like a Myrmidon from Fire Emblem. To represent her speed and attack power, we have her being fast and strong here, which, yeah, that adds up. You'll also notice that there is a Ike here, a very blue Ike. At first I thought this was representing Seth, basically Erika's bodyguard, but upon further thought I realised that this is a stand-in for her brother, Ephraim. Her brother who, there are very, very unfortunate incestuous implications in that game. Thankfully it never goes anywhere, but they're definitely there. So yeah. If not for those, it'd be my favourite Fire Emblem. It was the first Fire Emblem game that let you decide what rank you would promote into. Well, to my knowledge. Maybe one of the earlier ones did it, but the first of the modern Fire Emblem games that did so at the very least. Anyway, let's get in there with a good counter. Okay, counters are definitely not working out for me right now. Oh, good lord, you're getting really fast and really strong. I need to finish this. Get defeated. Get very dead. There we are. It was all about that perfect slice. Next up we have Young Cricket. Young Cricket is a young martial artist who appears as one of the characters from the WarioWare series. He is just a very stereotypical young boy trying to learn Kung Fu from a Mr. Miyagi-esque figure. And he loves, what are they called? Dim sum? Those little puffy Chinese things. They're gonna spawn in a second. Those things. He really likes those foods right there. One of the WarioWare games, WarioWare Smooth Moves, has you basically skipping a queue to try and acquire a bunch of those. Okay, anyway, back to Fire Emblem. This is Jagan. Jagan is quite an infamous Fire Emblem character. He appeared in the first one as Marth's mentor and tutor. And there's a history behind Jagan. You'll see that it goes on about how he starts the damage with a lot of defense. He starts off really powerful. That was Jagan's whole gimmick. He was a beginner's trap of a character. When you first played the game, Jagan was super OP, super busted. But if you over-relied on him for those reasons, you'd end up having him eat up all the experience points and doing nothing with them, whereas all your weaker units were then absolutely fucked. And I think most Fire Emblem games have a Jagan-esque character in them. Seth, who I mentioned previously, was one of them. You had Marcus. There's quite a few of them, to be honest. Quite a lot. Titania, Frederick, to a lesser extent. Basically, a bunch of characters who don't use them. If you start off a Fire Emblem game and you have a dope, powerful character, leave them alone. That's not for you. Thankfully, I think the newer Fire Emblem games have kind of eased up on that beginner's trap a little bit. Speaking of Fire Emblem, even more Fire Emblem, we have Hinoka here. Hinoka is the older sister of Sakura, who we battled previously in this LP, and by extension a younger sister of Corrin. She has retainers named Azama and Setsuna, and she's actually a Pegasus Knight, one of the flying units. So to represent that, we have strong winds blowing around, which thankfully I have the Stalk equipped to stop those immediately blowing me away, because that would be an immediate loss if I didn't. And yeah, you'll notice that she's also jumping like nobody's business. She really likes to take to the air, so that is not too far from how a Pegasus Knight operates. That said, I don't have a bow with me right now, I just have a Cyborg Ninja, so I just have to land that good decisive hit to finish this. It's always about that last little hit, especially with Marth as a character. When you use him, the tip of his sword is far stronger than the rest of it, so you have to perfectly land your attacks in order to optimize your strength. Come on now. It's quite interesting for spacing as well. Like, ironically, one of the best things you can do to defeat a Marth is get right up in his face, right up in his grill, because it makes his sword far more ineffectual against you. That has saved me quite a few times online, in fact, getting right up to people's faces. And Jesus! That could have been a loss. All she had to do was use her final smash and I'd have died there. Whew, okay, that's enough Fire Emblem for now. Here is a Gema. Gema is a horrible little bug monster from Metroid. They walk around on the floors and on the ceilings and on the walls. They're gross. They're quadrupeds, hence the Ivysaur. There's really not much more to them than that. Generally, to defeat them, similarly to how you defeat an Ivysaur, one shot with the Ice Beam is always a good idea, because they'll freeze in place and then they become a platform. So yeah, if you ever want to deal with Gemas and you have your Ice Beam in Metroid, that's how you do it. Far more effective than just shooting them. Next up we have Reinhardt Schneider. Reinhardt is the protagonist of the Nintendo 64 Castlevania games, both of them in fact. He is a far-off descendant of the Belmont family, hence why he's wielding the Vampire Killer. He also uses a sword as a secondary weapon, so that is why Beam Sword is a thing. And goddammit Hitler, why did Hitler have to be the one in the Princess Cage? Goddammit. Can't bloody escape him, he's always just there. I need to get rid of him. Anyway, Yukiki is next. Yukiki is a cute little monkey from Yoshi's Island. I say cute little monkey, they're actually really goddamn irritating, hence why they're played by Diddy Kong. They become more powerful after eating, which, yeah, okay. And I'll tell you what, Yukiki actually was one of the few characters who transcended Yoshi's Island and actually was seen in later different games. Yukiki appeared in Mario 64. And in Mario 64, he was the little bastard who would steal your hats. And when your hat was stolen, you pretty much had to drop everything to go get it back. So, yeah. Yukiki is a little bastard. Nobody likes him. And that is why I'm going to absolutely destroy him right now. Get dead, Yukiki. Just the last few hits. One. And... God damn it. One, and done. Nice. Alright, more Castlevania. This is Hector. Hector is a protagonist from the PS2 and Xbox Castlevania game, Curse of Darkness. He is actually one of Dracula's former minions, and he is able to summon demons, hence why he's being assisted by a Ridley in this battle after so much time. I haven't watched much of it, but I believe that Hector actually appears in the Netflix Castlevania series as a minor antagonist. So, anyone who's seen that show, I know I should have by now because apparently it's dope, but please do corroborate on that. I would love to hear. Anyway, this bastard is definitely out for the count, but now we have his horrible Durgan friend, played by Ridley. His horrible demon friend. Thankfully, this particular event match really likes spawning in swords and battering weapons, so I have a good arsenal of weaponry to throw. Regardless of who I'm playing as, that would have been easy. Next up is Goldeen. I died to this one an embarrassing amount of times for it being a novice level spirit. Because, I don't know, just the whole gimmick of this level is really irritating. Nobody in this level is able to jump very high. We all just kind of flop around awkwardly. When you throw Pokeballs, Goldeens come out. Goldeens do nothing, so they're just pointless. And these Jigglypuffs are just rolling around and being irritating. So if you get so much as bat slightly off an edge, you're just going to fall to your doom. The reason why this fight is such an awkward clusterfuck is because Goldeen as a Pokemon is okay. It's a decent water type. Well, it evolves into Seaking, who is decent. But in Smash Bros, when you summon it, it just flops around uselessly and then dies. It is a garbage tier Pokemon. It's the one thing you don't want to summon. So yeah. Next one is Blossom. A slightly better Pokemon, especially when it is revealed from a Pokeball in Smash. Because Blossom, being one of the final evolutions of the Oddish evolutionary line, is a pure grass type who is known for its hula dancing and for its sleeping effects. Yeah, if you go anywhere near that Blossom, you are going to fall asleep and you're going to get fucked for it, so yeah. Also, this particular Jigglypuff is going to be using Sing a lot more than Jigglypuffs generally do, because Sing, much like Sleep Powder, is a sleep-inducing move. Thankfully, we have an easy win there. And we can move on to the Peckish Aristocrab from Pikmin 3. This is quite a simple enemy. It's a big fuck-off crab. It grabs your Pikmin, and it eats them. To represent that it can also grab your Pikmin and launch them all over the shop, throwing them around and ragdolling them. We have a giant Ridley who loves spamming his horrible grabber move, so yeah. Incidentally, we're also playing on the level where the Peckish Aristocrab itself can actually spawn. It runs across the level, and it indiscriminately hurts anyone who stands in its way. One of the greatest justifications for playing with hazards off when you're playing online or playing with friends, because that bastard can be annoying. Anyway, he dead. Next we have Baby Peach. Interesting, the game is now telling me to go and kill a baby. That is dark. So, for this particular spirit, Baby Peach is from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, the second game in the Mario and Luigi series for the Game Boy Advance. And she's a baby. She's a baby version of Peach. There's not much more to it than that. In this particular fight, she's being assisted by a Mario who, I don't know if that's meant to be Mario himself, or maybe Toadsworth, or I'm not sure who that is, but yeah, baby characters in Mario games are quite interesting. They appear quite frequently, be it traveling through time or just inexplicably being there for the Mario Kart games. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, here's the final boss of that game, Princess Shroob. Princess Shroob is a horrible alien invader, who here is being played by an evil Peach, I guess. And you'll notice the gimmick here is that when she gets to high damage, she becomes a giant. That is to represent her older sister, Elder Shroob, who is your actual final boss, and takes on a big fuck-off monstrous form when you have her on the ropes. Thankfully, that doesn't make her any harder in this particular fight. Weird thing, the music you're hearing quite now is quite dramatic, as was the music when you actually fought Elder Shroob. That is because the person who composes the final boss themes for the Mario and Luigi games is the person who does the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, and that's wild to me. Anyway, tangent aside, we have Totem Link from the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. This was a multiplayer Zelda game where you played as a bunch of Links. Hence why we're fighting against a bunch of Links right now. You would use them all to solve puzzles and all that good stuff. Now let's see how tricky these little bastards can be. All three of them trying to annoy me. Thankfully, items seem to be on my side right now. As do my good smash attacks. And hammered. Get out. Alright, next up we have Jonathan Morris. We actually, in a sense, encountered him already, as he was partnered up with Charlotte Orlin before. So this is a role reversal of that previous battle. This time we're fighting Jonathan, and what seems to be an older, more capable version of Charlotte is assisting him instead. So instead of a Zelda spamming her one explosive fire attack, we have a Robin who can spam L fire. A far more sustained and potentially devastating fire-based move. That said, should still be a nice easy win so long as I keep moving, keep on my toes. And I should also clarify that Jonathan Morris as a character is not to be confused with John Morris, who is a different Castlevania protagonist from Castlevania Bloodlines. Castlevania's tendencies to just have so many different characters in this big web of a family all trying to take on Dracula. That shit can get confusing, honestly. But hey, I'm sure there are a bunch of Castlevania buffs out there who are absolutely fascinated by the Belmont family tree, and good for them. I'm glad for ya. For me, I'll stick to research. Anyway, I think it's time to end this. Time to finish this fool off. I just need that one more good hit. And not to get shot in the face, or have axes thrown at me, or get bapped around. Goddamn, Jonathan. You are being quite a bastard right now. And thankfully finished him off before he could final smash me. Next up we have the standard cart from Mario Kart. Speaks for itself. It's the standard cart from Mario Kart. I don't even need to show you a video clip for this one, because the carts actually appear on this level. They drive by periodically to knock out players. The reason that Squirtles are playing them though, green Squirtles in particular, is because they are representing the green shell item that you can throw in Mario Kart in order to mess up your fellow racers. That said, they go down like nobody's business, and boom! Consider yourselves countered, standard carts, all of you. I completely ruined your race. Alright, next up we have the jackknife. This is actually a Pilates exercise. If anybody watching along would like to partake in this, you're more than welcome. Although, please avoid it if you have any neck or spinal injuries. All you need to do for this one is lie on your back and extend your legs up to the ceiling. Once you're able to, maintain a lift with your legs, pelvis and a tailbone. And when you are able, then articulate your spine to gently roll downwards. You don't want any fast or drastic movements, else you put your back at risk. But this should help to stretch your back muscles. I'm not a fitness instructor, you may have gathered. Our next opponent is Fireman from the Mega Man series. So once again, being a robot master, this is a stamina battle. And Fireman's a gimmick, kind of obvious, is fire. Here's some more lava. He also likes using his down smash attacks, which is Mega Man's one fire-based move. And starting me on the flames is such a dick move, game. That is not cool. That is really not cool. Granted, I should have put fire resistance on, but, you know, maybe I didn't have fire resistance. Anyway, all I have to do is just be careful with my movement here and try not to land on the lava floor, if I can help it, because every little shred of health counts. God damn, lava everywhere. There we go. Alright, next up we have Von Kaiser from the Punch-Out series. Von Kaiser is German. He is one of the first boxers you encounter, and he's pretty basic. Pretty goddamn basic. He's being played by Mario as opposed to Little Mac, because he has a mustache. That is the only reason, I guess. It's interesting though, because Mario himself does appear in the Punch-Out games. He is the referee, so I'm surprised he didn't, you know, play the referee. I'm surprised there isn't a spirit of Mario as a referee in Punch-Out. Anyway, we have Bonkers next. Bonkers is a mini-boss from the Kirby games. He is a big angry monkey who uses a hammer. So here's a fight where he's going to come straight at us with a goddamn hammer. Thankfully I can do this. So there goes your hammer. That was relatively goddamn easy. Now I just need to finish you off. Just a couple of decisive hits. And I'll tell you what, I think you will be a good stand-in character for my Donkey Kong. So this will be a permanent addition to my Spirit Squad, I'm calling it now. Yeah, that's what we're going with. It's the Spirit Squad. Oof, God, you are proving irritating. Let me just get those perfect slices in and not get kicked in the face. Getting kicked in the face is not one of my prerogatives right now. Oh, Jesus. This guy is so evasive. I mean, he is like a 3-star, but still. I need to not underestimate 3-star spirits. They are pretty goddamn tough for the most part, even if I am playing a 4-star. God damn it. Just end this. Please get dead. Alright, and finished. Nope. Not at all finished. Wow, this one is dragging on. You need to die, Bonkers. Bonkers in the Kirby games was never this bad. Oh shit. Oh shit. Ooh! Okay, good. Got my final smash out first. We're gonna detox from that fight with a Bob-omb. Bob-ombs appeared first in Super Mario 2? Super Mario Bros. 2. They had more of an impact in Super Mario Bros. 3 though, and they're bombs. They're little walking bombs. They wore little Reeboks in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, to anyone who fondly remembers that, as I weirdly do. And yeah, this fight, despite being quite a low-star fight, is really goddamn hard because there are fucking bombs everywhere, and it's really, really easy to just get blown up and insta-killed. Thankfully, as long as you keep moving and don't get blown up, you should be good. Alright, so, one last thing we are going to do is we're going to do one more little fusion. Let's combine that Bob-omb we got at the end of the episode with the Shake King from the beginning. That will give us a big bomb with a penchant for stomping around and making little earthquakes. We have the King Bob-omb, the first boss from Super Mario 64. He throws real good, as he does in that game. We also have this fellow, Fireman, hence a fiery character. Great Tiger, an Indian fighter, gives us an Indian fighter who can use fire. Dulcim from Street Fighter. Only a support, but that's fine. See you soon.